Stop. Don't you dare scroll past this. You know, when you get that gnawing feeling in your gut, the one that really whispers, you're wasting your gifts. Every single night, 3 a.m. in your bed. Yeah, that one. So while you're sitting there, broke, skint, burnt out, and bitter, giving away your healing for free because you think it's more spiritual, there are people right now making 50K, 100K, even multiple six figures with their spiritual gifts. And they're helping more people than you ever will stay broke. I'm Anne Varney. I'm about to share every lie that you have been fed about money and spirituality. In the next 15 minutes, I'm giving you an exact system that spiritual entrepreneurs are using to build good businesses while staying in complete integrity. But here's the brutal truth you need to hear. Every day you stay humble and broke, someone who needs your specific gift is suffering. They're working with the wrong person, getting maybe subpar results, or worse, they just give up entirely. Your financial struggle isn't noble. It's bloody selfish. Yeah. And you think you're being spiritual by undercharging. You're actually being the biggest fraud of all, pretending that your gifts have no value while watching people stay stuck. I used to be the queen of it. I used to be the queen of spiritual poverty. You know, I'd give 500 quid worth of healing for less than 40 quid, working myself to death, resentful as hell, but too enlightened to admit it because I feared that judgment from my supposed fears. And I had no pretense of charging thousands of dollars for a bridal gown. Thousands I used to charge for a wedding, even just a wedding attire. But I knew I had to make a wake-up call that would change everything. A client told me she spent over 10K with other healers who couldn't help her. You know, that in one session with me, she had a breakthrough that changed her life forever. And I charged her 45 quid. I had another person who had been under a psychotherapist for 20 years with the same issue. 20 years of going to the therapist. One session of showing her a different perspective. And she, again, completely changed her life. 40 quid. That's when I realized by undervaluing myself, I was making my gifts accessible to people who didn't value them, while the people who really needed me couldn't find me because I was hiding in spiritual poverty. I knew I had to make a wake-up call that would change everything. A client told me that she spent 10K with other healers who couldn't help her. And in one session with me at 45 quid, she had the breakthrough that changed her life forever. And I charged 45 quid. That's when I realized by undervaluing myself, I was making my gifts accessible to people who didn't actually value them. Just think about that for a minute, yeah? And while the people who really needed me, they couldn't find me because I was hiding in spiritual poverty. That's when I created the Oracle Code, the Spiritual Awakening Academy, to stop this madness and help spiritual entrepreneurs build businesses that match the value that they create and see the value. I had a doctor friend who's a great friend, and they actually says, "Man, I wouldn't go with you." And I was black affronted. What do you mean you wouldn't go with me? They knew I had really powerful gifts, but they said, "You don't value yourself. You don't value yourself. You're only charging 40 quid, which tells me you've got very low self-worth." That really shook me to my core and made me really look at myself. I was like, because it was so true. It was so true. So here's what we're covering today. We're going to look at 5 steps to start your spiritual business the right way. We're going to define your zone of genius, not just what you're good at. And we're going to identify your ideal client. It's not everyone who needs healing, by the way. Yeah. So create and how to create your signature offering and price it properly without guilt, and really market authentically without being salesy. So let's dive in. If this is for you, we're going to go fast and furious. Define your zone of genius. This isn't about listing every healing modality you have that you've learned. It's about the intersection of what you're naturally gifted at, what you've personally overcome, what people already come to you for advice about. So, for example, if you're naturally intuitive, you've navigated a major life transition, and friends are constantly asking you about career changes, your zone might be intuitive career guidance. Don't try to be everything to everyone. The riches are in the riches. It is as simple as that. Don't be telling people about what modality. I'm a Reiki master. They're not interested. They just want you to help. Step 2, identify your ideal client. Yeah, because here's what messes a lot of people up. They say anyone who needs healing are all spiritual seekers. Wrong. I used to do it myself. It wasn't until I started really niching down. Your ideal client is someone who has already done some spiritual work, not a complete beginner, has the financial means to invest in themselves, or is ready to take action, not just consume information. There's a difference. Shares similar values to you. They're absolute dream to work with. And through the Oracle Code, I've found it's usually between 40 to 60-year-olds going through life transitions who've done therapy, they read the books, and are ready to go deeper. They're ready to get that deeper work done. So be specific. The more specific you are, the easier everything else becomes. Yeah? Step 3, create your signature offering. This is the main thing, not 15 different services, not an a la carte healing sessions. How I know this is I remember I built this beautiful website when I become a hypnotherapist. I was able to do everything on this web. It took me a week to build, which was quite long for how quick I usually do. And I remember my coach at the time, like banging her head, going, "What are you doing? One." And I was so disheartened because I spent so long. And did I get anybody from that website? Not a bloody thing. Not a thing. So, what one transformation you help people achieve? And structure it like this. What's the problem? What specific challenge do you solve? What's the process? What's your unique method? What's the promise? What outcome do you guarantee? For example, I help spiritual entrepreneurs overcome money blocks so they can scale to consistent 5K months, 10K months, 100K months using my soul to sale method. See how specific that is? It's not for everyone, but that's for a very specific person with a very specific problem. Yeah? Step 4, price it properly. Here's the thing about pricing. Spiritual services, you're not charging for your time, you're charging for the transformation. Now, if you help someone go from stuck and confused to clear and making money, we're just using that as an example, what's that worth to them? 10,000, 50,000? We're talking about over the lifetime. What's it worth to them? Because your price should be a fraction of the value that you create. So here's just a gateway that you should be going towards. Discovery strategy sessions, one-on-one, should be between about 97 to about $297, $300. Group programs should be between about $400 to can go way up to $5,000. Private mentoring, depending on where you are in your evolutionary that scale, depending where you are, could be anything from private mentoring for a 3-month program, anything from 2,000 to 10,000. Investment retreat. I do my spiritual retreats for invite only. It should be around about 1,500 to could be up to 30,000 because that's what I see them going for. They really can. But here's the key. Payment plans. Most spiritual people can afford 2, 3, 4, £500 a month way easier than they can afford 3, 4, 5 grand up front. Yeah, it's true. It's very true. It showed me time and time again. So remember your audience. What does your audience? What's better for your audience, your client? Step 5, market authentically. You don't have to be salesy. You just have to be helpful, give value, share your story, talk about your own journey, be vulnerable about your struggles. The people meant to work with you will resonate. The ones who don't, they weren't your people anyway. Don't take it as a slight to you. It's actually a good thing when they walk away, yeah, or they unsubscribe. Your marketing should feel like having coffee with a wise friend, not being pitched by a used car salesman. It's just as work. I know because I've done it. I didn't know how to do it. I've done it. I was a one-to-one business. It was in person, and so online was new to me. It was alien. I had to learn all these skills. So create content that actually helps people. Answer the real questions. Show up consistently, and a quick rapid fire of what not to do. This is common mistakes that people do. Don't undercharge thinking it's more spiritual. Look at, I've got a video here. It will show you at the end of this. Broken healers help no one. So don't try to help everyone. You'll help no one effectively. Yeah. Don't wing it. Have a plan, have a goal, have a process. And don't give everything away for free. Value your gifts. Yes, have a freebie because you want to build your email list. Don't give everything away. Value those gifts. I used to give everything away. I just wondered why nobody bought anything. They didn't need to. Everything was there. And don't compare yourself to others. Your journey is unique. It really is. And look, I'm going to be straight with you. This isn't and a lot of people that come online think they're going to get rich quick. It is not like that. You have to put the work in. It isn't a get rich quick scheme. You need to go in for the long haul because building a spiritual business, it takes time, it takes commitment. And yes, it really does take some business skills. But if you're meant to do this work, if you feel that calling that's in your soul, then you owe it to yourself. And the people you're meant to help to do this properly, they'll come. The world needs more authentic spiritual entrepreneurs, not broke healers. We don't need more of them giving away their gifts and burning out. We just don't need it. It's not good for you and it's not good for the community. If you're ready to take this seriously and want to work with in a practitioner level who understand both spiritual and business sides of the journey, check out the Oracle Code. The link's down below. We'll be going live next month. Check it out. We really complete service. We specialize in helping spiritual entrepreneurs like you build sustainable, profitable businesses without compromising your integrity. You can learn more by just clicking that link below, the Oracle Code. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And our practitioners have been exactly where you are. Some of them are still there, but I see the movement of them. They're building or they've built their own successful spiritual businesses. And I can help you do that too. And if you found this helpful, please hit subscribe. It really does help because I share real practical advice to spiritual entrepreneurs every week. No fluff, no bullshit, just what actually works. Because I've done it all. I've done it myself. Remember, your spiritual gifts are meant to be shared, but you can't help everyone. If you're broke, burnt out, or you're resentful, build a business that supports your mission. Price yourself properly. Help the people you're meant to help, because the world is waiting for what you have to offer. See you in the next video.